popular Terran players in the StarCraft 2 universe is starting to the top left of the map. Belcher Vestige. In pink, we have for the Prime team
MarineKing Prime.
the man with the red rims.
There those red rims are. He's got a little bit of a hair sticking up on the top of his head.
19 years old. His opponent starts to the bottom right, 24 years of age. The Protoss player in orange. He is
삼성칸 jangbi.
jangbi with a 2-1 victory over Bial in the first round of Code A. We had MarineKing face San. Was barely able to defeat him with a 2-1. Now he finds himself in another Terran versus Protoss. And jangbi, of course, studied those games.
Yeah, absolutely so. jangbi goes for a gateway opening rather than going for a Nexus first. MarineKing, on the other hand, looks like he is definitely planning on going for that CC first.
jangbi was able to win his Code A qualifier bracket. His final match was against Snow, who he took out with a 2-0. He also faced another Terran player in his first round, aka Destiny Plan. Not quite sure who that is. But those replays are not available to MarineKing, so MarineKing does not have too much to go on here. The only VODs that he can really rely on are those where jangbi played against the Terran player at Pro League.
Yeah. There's quite a few of those VODs out there, and he can hear rumors of how jangbi plays. That's what he can only rely on, but this is much easier for jangbi by far.
Yeah, that's... Oh, we have a probe already in position. We might actually see a bit of a proxy Stargate opening here.
I think we definitely will. There's no other reason for a probe to do that. It's actually super early, too, for him to be out there, so I think it's going to be the fastest possible Stargate you could ever see.
There's already the pylon, and guys, keep in mind, if you want to support those players, then make sure that you add MarineKing on Twitter. His account is MKPS2. The guy has a lot of followers, a lot of fans. jangbi, on the other hand, being a Kesper player, didn't have a Twitter for a long time. Now he has one. His ID is jangbi_toss. If you're a Protoss fan, add him. Also make sure that you add the two of us, add ProxyWolf for Wolf, myself with a KH at Caldo on Twitter. We would appreciate the support as well. Tweet at us what you think about these matches and the casts.
Love to hear from you guys. We read every tweet.
And as you can see, as expected, we have now the Stargate opening for jangbi, a proxy to the left side of the map. MarineKing without the scout so far. And of course, this is going to be very dangerous if MarineKing doesn't send a unit over to spot this.
I'm not sure if he's going Oracles or if he's going Void Rays. Yeah, he could do both. Void Rays are much stronger in this game, and Oracles are in this game. So
I would be kind of surprised if he doesn't go for the Oracle.
With the positioning here, it seems like Oracle, because if you want to go for Void Rays, you can also put it on the right side, and there's the Oracle.
Goes for the Oracle, and that can do a lot of damage. The Stalker already poking a little bit, or will poke at the front just a tiny little bit. MarineKing with the double gas now, has the bunker at the front, is not going to help him against the Oracle in the main base. And MarineKing is completely oblivious. He didn't even send a scout out.
Yeah, well, this is MarineKing, man. He's very, very greedy, very blind, and jangbi is going to try to punish him for it here. First Oracle is ready, and we'll see if he starts a second one. So far, not yet. And when the Marines come into the main base, he can run the Stalker to the natural. Here we go.
Here we
Oracle's
go.
active.
1, 2 are gone. 2 SCVs trying to take out a few more. Doing a little bit of damage here, and of course he has to keep it alive. There's a constant threat now to MarineKing.
And here's that Stalker running by I was talking about before. He's a little bit trapped in here now, but he's trying to do some damage.
Yeah, so far a good reaction by MarineKing, I have to say. He's trying to pick off one of the Marines, and the Marines... Oh! He misses it. Could have actually killed it.
Gonna get that SCV though, and the Oracle's recharging its energy. The second Oracle's about to be ready. And he can fight the Marines when they're in low numbers like this with the Oracles.
And the second Oracle, they are both together. He could do quite a bit of damage here, but a lot of Marines are already waiting for them. At the bottom right now, we have jangbi going to this expand. jangbi, of course, a player with years of experience in Brood War. He is the last OSL champion in Brood War that we ever had.
Looks like he's going to use both of them at once. He can one-shot an SCV like this.
Nice micro for jangbi here, saving the Oracle. Maybe... Oh, wow, that was a close one.
That's as close as it gets. There is a Widow Mine on the way, though, which is going to put a stop to this, most likely.
10 Harvesters killed, 30 to 23 the Harvester count now, but keep in mind the MarineKing has already 2 orbital commands. Oh, and pauses the game here. That is a little bit unexpected 7 minutes into the game. That's usually not a hotkey issue then.
Yeah, we're going to find out very soon what is going on with that.
So the situation that we have in the game now is that jangbi started the game with a one-base play with a proxy Stargate. He laid his own command set, sorry, his own Nexus for quite some time, whereas MarineKing, on the other hand, was in a position starting with a command center, losing 10 harvesters though, and finds himself now behind in the harvester count, which is against a Protoss player what you would expect though. So jangbi had to do damage to the economy to even up the score.
Yeah, his Nexus is very late comparatively. And just looking at the unit numbers, so you have 11 Marines out. That's MarineKing's army. That's his entire army. Only 2 Stalkers out for jangbi, who's starting to get his production up at this moment in time. He still has those 2 Oracles, which is going to be useful for him to use Revelation later on to spot where the Marines are going, spot drops, and of course to continue the harassment if the Marines move out.
Exactly. He could always just sneak into the main base once again. And we just got an update by production. MarineKing, for some reason, is actually changing his mouse here. So he seemed to have a problem with his old one. I hope that is going to work smoothly, that there are not any issues.
That may have been why he missed killing that second Oracle. That was really close, and it looked like he was going to get it for sure.
Yeah, I was really wondering about that. It looked like he was able, should have been able to move in and take that last shot with the Marine, but then he targeted the second one, so maybe that was a bit of an issue with his mouse. As it is, we have 2 active Oracles on the map for jangbi in a good position here. The Protoss player already did a fair amount of damage to his opponent. So MarineKing has to be quite careful here. If those Oracles sneak in once again, he will fall farther and farther behind in the game.
Yeah, and he needs to hope his new mouse is better than the old, because you never want to be using equipment that is either at the time giving you a problem with drivers or whatever it is, or maybe he got some dust in his, where his optical sensor is, whatever happened.
I find it a little bit interesting that he has a spare one with him.
Yeah.
That is usually not something that a lot of pro players really do, at least not from the ones that I talk to. So he has a spare mouse with him. Maybe he expected it at some point to already die.
Yeah, that's a little bit stranger. Maybe he's asking, from some of the other programmers who are here. It looks like he's ready. We have a countdown, and we're going to resume the game in just a few seconds. So it looks like everything is going back to normal here.
So 7 minutes into the match, this is when the break occurred. We're jumping into the game right away on Belshia Vestige. MarineKing up against jangbi. As you can see now, the double SCV production will put MarineKing in a spot where he catches up in the harvester count. And as long as jangbi doesn't even have his second Nexus ready, MarineKing should be able to close that gap quite fast.
The late eBay here is really hurting him because he doesn't have the ability to make missile turrets. He's losing already 2 more SCVs, 2.5 really, and another one goes down.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do when you're the Protoss player in this case, moving around the map with the 2 Oracles, doing as much damage as possible. He does a really good job here, I have to say. A lot of kills on both of these Oracles.
Yeah, even killing some of the Marines there and gets away. He's just going to constantly threaten him. And even if he forces missile turrets, that's 100 minerals every turret he makes.
15 units killed in total, 13 harvesters. That was a very good harass. Double upgrades now for jangbi, and he's keeping MarineKing busy. He's going into the main base once again, and the Widowmine takes it out.
Yep, and the Widowmine does not actually do enough damage to kill any of those SCVs, so they remain alive.
And now the switch into the robotics facility.
Yeah, he's starting to tech up. He's already getting 1-1 upgrades. That's going to push him very far ahead of MarineKing, who starts +1 behind with only 1 eBay.
Yeah, he already has 3 barracks so far. He's now going into the Stargate. Starport, that is.
Yeah. He starts his own Oracles. He's like, God, have a taste of your own medicine.
So in this situation right now, we have the upgrades, of course, giving jangbi a little bit of a lead here. Is chrono boosting them and going into the tech switch towards the robotics, whereas MarineKing is now starting with his first medivac. So he wants to go for the drop play, wants to start to be aggressive and to harass. That's always the time when the Terran player gets the first medivacs out, when you have to be very careful as a Protoss.
If he doesn't do a lot of damage with his medivacs here, I already see the future of this game. I think we're just going to see a one of those very clear-cut SCV pull attacks, maybe on 3 command center, maybe on 2, because he's going to realize his tech is in an uncomfortable place. He's also playing against insanely good upgrades for jangbi. He needs to do damage now with these medivacs. jangbi sees the exact timing when the medivacs come out with this hallucination. Hallucination is so strong right now.
Yeah, it's a great spell for the Protoss player to see what's coming. And you want to know when this SCV pull is going to happen, because this is one of the most dangerous things that you can encounter. If you're not ready for it, then you might just lose the games right there. We have for now still the Oracle being active on the map, and there is immediately a reveal, which you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's one of the great things you can do with Oracles. So he knows exactly where everything is. He even sees that Widowmine, of course.
Takes out the Widowmine. Here come the Marines with a stim, just ready in time. No combat shield though.
Really, really good control here by MarineKing, running right through those force fields. But you know what? Every stim counts with no combat shield, like you said.
And suddenly the force fields are there. A great trap, well set up by jangbi, forcing MarineKing back. And that was a good defense by the Protoss player here. The last force field was exactly what he needed.
Fairly even trade, but remember the upgrade's getting better and better for jangbi all the time. He's going into charge now. And the Oracle is still persisting around here, trying to do a little bit more. He's going to try to go for some SCVs building barracks, looks like, which will actually slow down the powering of MarineKing here.
These Oracles are just so awesome for jangbi. He does so much damage with them. He delays those production facilities that you talked about earlier, and he's now in a position where he can do damage. He's still aware that there is the Widow Mine. The Oracle dies in the end, but still, that was a lot of damage done.
Yeah, gets some extra scouting that MarineKing is going into those. I'm going to check really quick and make sure he saw the command center, because I'm pretty sure he did. No, he did not. Barely did not see the third command center. So now he could be thinking, oh, he's maybe not taking the third. I've got to be a little bit careful here.
The upgrades for jangbi are great. He's heading straight into the +2/+2. He's chrono boosting them as well. So going into the Templar Archive now, we have him with the first Archon already morphing. He is in a great position here, going for charge, +2/+2. He can go for Storm.
Yeah. This pylon is going to spot everything. Well, MarineKing spots it and shows.
Yeah. And MarineKing goes into Armory and the second Engineering Bay. It doesn't look like he's going to pull those SCVs anytime soon.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be trying to play at least into a little bit more of the mid-game here. That Marine runs for his life and gets to keep it, at least for now.
jangbi is a little bit behind the overall supply, but he has much better upgrades. MarineKing just about to finish his own 1-1, whereas jangbi is already on 2-2.
jangbi, it looks like he wants to hit a timing with his Archons, Charge Zealots, and 2-2. He's not going to make a third base. He stopped pro production for a really long time. He's powered up now in total. He has 7 gateways only. I thought he had a little bit more than that.
Charge Zealots and Archons moving in with +2/+2, trying to set those force fields trap. A fail field at first, but maybe he can get those up now.
Huge warp-ins here for jangbi. This is a great timing with 2-2. There's not a lot of bunkers. The Archons do a great AoE from the back as well, but MarineKing just has too many medevacs, and the Archons, yeah, they connected well with the SCVs, but not with the actual army.
MarineKing had a lot of units in position. A great concave here too. He's a little bit reluctant to commit to this attack, but I feel that he has enough units to push through there.
He's just going to wait. He's going to take a third base. He knows the medevac count is a little bit high. He needs a few more Archons if he wants to continue the attack. You know, he could have tried it, but he wants to play this one safe.
Yeah. A lot more Archons. 32 Harvesters killed. We have 37 to 50 Harvesters. And MarineKing with a lot more army supply is now trying to push this back. He's moving in, stimming once again, chasing those units down.
Hellbat's even helping out here. The Archons were not fighting. They were targeting down supply depots. It's never what you want. Now they're starting to connect with that bio.
MarineKing with a Sutter stab the force field once again, not enough, and jangbi is on the retreat, losing another Archon to his opponent.
jangbi's sticking around here, I feel, way too long, and now he's lost his entire army. MarineKing is just stimming and running. He knows he has the medevac count to support this many stims.
MarineKing with the Warcraft 3 surround there, surrounding the poor Zealot and then taking it out.
Yeah, Storm is on the way for jangbi, but he doesn't have anything to support it. He's got a few more gateways on the way, but that third base is a fantasy.
If MarineKing decides to push through, even though all his bio units are on low health, then Storm won't even be done in time.
Yeah, he's just going to go for it. Storm is almost ready.
Something that, of course, MarineKing does not know. He only sees the High Templars here.
jangbi is hoping for a miracle. He's got his fingers crossed right now. So far, so good. Yeah. So far, so good. MarineKing goes for the third, which gives him the time he needs. But also, a lot of the Bioforce has been healed.
jangbi doesn't even try to defend this third base, but now we have the Storm ready. With good Storms, he might be able to turn things around here. Here we have MarineKing moving in, eating that Storm, eating one, eating two.
Oh my god, those Storms right at the back. He surrounds MarineKing's army, he crushes it, surrounding those last few Hellbats. The Archons connect.
Even Thor, the God of Thunder, couldn't cast better Storms than this. jangbi eliminating the bigger part of the army, and he is still in a lead with his upgrades.
This is the jangbi that made fangirls scream all over YouTube. Those are those Storms that we all know and love, and those Storms were incredible. He hit it behind the army when he knew his Zealots would be coming from the other side, so MarineKing either had to run into a pack of charged Zealots with better upgrades or into Storms. He had no choice. He had nowhere to run.
Yeah, MarineKing getting his army up again. He lost so much in the last encounter. jangbi trying to send a few Zealots to the top right to harass that mineral line, but MarineKing is already expecting it.
Yeah, he will be able to move in here and save his SCVs, but not before losing a few of them.
jangbi doing quite a lot here, and he's back in the game.
Yeah, he really is. I thought he might be dead there, but the Storms was able to hold on against that. MarineKing, though, on 3 bases, rebuilding his army, trying to catch up on upgrades. Jangbi made a tough choice to go into 3-3 here instead of waiting and getting more army to defend.
And with a 3-3, he will once again be a complete set of upgrades ahead of his opponent. That is MarineKing's weakness here, and we have Storm. MarineKing doesn't have ghosts or anything. So this is gonna get really difficult for MarineKing to pull off, especially since jangbi is also ahead in economy with his 58 harvesters and the 3rd base as soon as it's done.
The Stargate still is not spotted by MarineKing. A bit of an oversight, but that's also a new warp-in point for him to use Zealots to run into the natural. And the Hellbats continue to come out here. They don't have any upgrades though, so that's something to think about.
MarineKing refuses to get any kind of ghosts here. He needs the perfect micro, the perfect splits if he really wants to work against the Storm without having EMPs or snipes.
This is what he's known for, you know, not always skipping the ghost, but just beautiful micro and control in these big engagements.
MarineKing will have 2-2, same upgrades as his opponent for a little bit, not for long though.
He tries to catch this drop, but he's not able to do it. Zealots will go right into the main base. There could be a huge warp to accompany them.
And here comes the Warp Prism into the main base with the Zealots, and he warps in right away. 3-3 is going to be done.
Could go for the Armory. If he gets the Armory, that means no 3-3 for MarineKing. It also means no more Hellbats. Looks like he's just going to go for SCVs instead for now.
MarineKing is heading towards the 3rd, and jangbi warps in units to the top left, but he is ready. Here comes the pain.
One Storm goes down, not the best one, but this is a choke point. MarineKing coming from 2 sides, however.
MarineKing being supply blocked. There are still units in the top left.
Great
and
Storm.
MarineKing moving in from 2 sides. The Storms are awesome, but the position for MarineKing is so good.
MarineKing's position is too good. He's got a flank. He's crushing jangbi's army. Another good Storm hits, but there's too much healing power here.
jangbi's army is caught between a hammer and an anvil. MarineKing is moving in, taking down the 3rd once again.
3rd base is definitely going to fall. The Warpin of Zealots here looks desperate, and jangbi now at half the supply of MarineKing.
GG!